Hello, welcome to the Colourful Creativity podcast. My name is Caroline, my co-host Binks is also present, and this is episode 144. You can find me online everywhere as Kralaline. Links are all down below in the description box on YouTube. And I have a web shop, colourfulcreativity.com or .nl. Oh, it's kissy time. Just a little kissy. Yeah, I was putting up the tripod. He was sound asleep under his blankie in his fortress. Of course, he woke up from the sound of the tripod and was ready to roll when I went to sit here. But this is not a, well, maybe it is the Binkster show, but yeah, let's just start with finished objects because this is a knitting and crafting podcast. And in this gorgeous knit fabric bag from the lovely Francesca, which I got as a gift, I have a work in progress and not the finished object I was looking for. Oh, more licky lickies. So in this bag, I do have my my finished object. This is a bag from Yarnistry shop. Let me take out the needle, put it away safely so I don't lose it, because in here is actually two finished objects, and I am going to grab the first one. There's also all the patterns in here, so it was a very full bag, and all my yarn is falling down. And this mister is not moving. Seriously. We can put this in the blooper section. Oopsa. Yeah. Bye, cat. Right. One on that side, one on the other side. Maybe the cat will come back. Because I have a finished object, which is my Aegwynn mitts by Laure Marmier. Or Marmier, but I think it's called Marmier. And here the first one is, and here is the second one. So I absolutely have a pair. I have a left one and a right one, and here it is all rib, and here it is with a beautiful cable. I hope you can see it a bit. I think you can. All ends are woven in, which is on this one definitely easy. The yarn I used is from Qing fiber, which I got in a D-stash. It is high twist BFL, and the colorway is called Hippionista. And here you can see the ball. Yeah, it's all rib. I have to say I finished these, I think, very shortly after the previous episode. And that was 3 weeks ago, maybe even 4. So I do not remember a lot of it because we were down with COVID. After 3 years, it finally caught up to us. And yeah, it wasn't fun, but I'm very glad that we had it now and not earlier, and that is also the reason that the next finished object is a finished object, but I didn't really go for the whole competition thing, because the next project I'm going to show you is Leicht. And it is by Annette Schleicher, also known as The Nerd Knits. And this is the qualifier pattern for Sock Madness. Because we have started again with the madness. And yeah, I will show you the first sock. Let me fold it open so it looks extra pretty. Because I do not have my blockers at hand. But here you go. It is a fully intarsia leg pattern with balloons, and the girl going all the way into the foot. And then it is just a plain vanilla foot with a contrasting toe, being the earth that the girl is from. And then you embroider the string of the balloons on. And I can show you the inside of this one. All nice and tidy. Hi, Banks. Look at that. All the ends woven in. I was a good girl. I did that when I was at my worst with COVID. I had already finished the leg, and after the heel I went on with the girl, and then it hit, and I managed to even knit my front and my back side together, because when you do intarsia you have to wrap your yarn, and you have to take the yarn from the right side of the wrap to knit with, otherwise you get stuck. I got stuck. So that's how good my brain was working. And then I was doing the toe, but I didn't pay attention because I had shifted some stitches around to make it easier. And yeah, I managed to have 34 stitches on one side and 30 on the other side, so my decreases weren't even, so I had to pull out the whole toe again. But in the end I managed one sock, which was good because that meant I could be a cheerleader. And since knitting was just not an option on the balloons because they take quite some brain power, I was like, I'll weave in my ends. So I had a cuff ready to go for when I was feeling better. And yeah, I managed. But I'm still weaving in ends. I've been weaving in ends all morning on the balloons, and now I am at a girl, and well, this is the situation. You are knitting this with a massive tangle, and it feels really, really good that you're able to do so, because if you just have strings of 1.5 to 2 meters, you can just pull them out. It's absolutely no problem at all. I knit these on 2.5mm high sharps, and I used 64 stitches, which is my regular stitch count, and they fit me perfectly. So the yarn I used, I was naughty, and I used my own yarn, Colourful Smooth Sock, and I stole a skein of Jeanie, which went up in the last update. This bit of a pastel jeans color, light jeans color. I stole that from my shop because I didn't have a nice air color. I mean, don't you think the girl needs a nice air color? I think it fits perfectly. The contrast color was a sample mini skein I had dyed in a steel blue color, and I used 1,000,001 leftovers, just scraps. Basically the smallest scraps were still big enough, and I always save them because I'm that person. I can always use the tiniest scrap, and it shows again. It's true. It's true. So it's all Colourful Smooth Sock, and I'm really happy about it. I have knit a few things with a rainbow of mini skeins. Maybe you guys remember, which were also Smooth Sock, and I used all the leftovers from that and then some. Then there's another finished object, and ta-da-da! I managed to knit myself a mug cozy, and I did it in my hand spun. So in the end I went with this hand spun, and it's just knit flat and then seamed together. Here is the seam. I tried to do it very neatly, but with the cable, yeah, it just didn't really happen. And in here is some nice tea. Binks was tired from performing, so I had to put him back in his bed. And now we will get to the project in this gorgeous knit print fabric bag. In here I have the Herding Cats sock. And last time you saw it, I only had the cuff. But now I have a row of cats. Look at that. This side's better. No stitch marker. The first row is in, and I took Solomon, the white kitty. I don't want a white cat on my foot because I know it will look pretty dirty. So I went with white and light on my leg. I have already started Miss Leia. I can tell you it's a mess in here because I have hand wound balls, and I also have the leftovers in skein, mini skein. For myself, I dyed 2 times 10 gram mini skeins instead of 1 time 20, like I did for the shop, because I was running out of mini skeins. So yeah, the 10 grams are basically my sample and tester skeins, where I try new things for dyeing. So yeah, let me see, there it is. Here is the ball I'm currently knitting with. I am knitting these on 2.5 millimeters high sharps, my absolute favorite go-to needles. And I am not doing leather jacquard, I'm just doing regular floats, catching and all. Would be nice if it would focus. Yeah, thank you. So this is the inside. I think it looks really pretty. I love catching floats. The main color I'm using is this one. It is also my own hand dyed. I didn't bother to give it a label. Of course not. This is Bright Eyes, and it is also in the pastel collection. But this one I already knew I needed. Because it matches so well with the cats. I mean, look. Perfect. Yeah. It is basically on hibernation until Sock Madness is over, or I am done with Sock Madness. I didn't know, did I say the pattern was by Stone Knits? If not, all the information is also in the description box down below here on YouTube, because that's where I put my show notes nowadays. Yeah, this one is on hibernation until Sock Madness is done for me. I am only a cheerleader because I finished like a few hours before the deadline, which was way too close for me, and I was still feeling like, yeah, competing, having to chat and everything is just not my cup of tea today. And not at the moment. I want to be knitting stuff I want. I want to be knitting stuff that fits me, and I want to have it relaxed, please, without a deadline. So yeah. I didn't know then how long the whole COVID situation would take. It's okay now, so I could have done it, but yeah, no. Relaxed is the word for this year. Boring and relaxed. Let me see. When I was finished with those socks, I just needed plain vanilla, and yeah. In my Undercover Otter neon is my neutral spooky bag. I have yarn. Let me see where it is. Yeah, there it is. Here's the yarn. It is basically a dark rainbow, and it is a 6-ply yarn, Meilenweit Intenso. The number is 9588. Yeah. It is a very nice, warm, thick sock. And I finished the first one. I needed something really mindless. And I went and I went and I went. And then it was, oh, drat, I'm already at the toe. So I had to stop. So here we go. It was for the days between Sock Madness and the qualifier and the start, I think, and also for the days where my brain just wanted to knit but didn't know how to knit. At least nothing very difficult. I also knit on my husband's sweater, which I'm not going to show you because it's just a centimeter of boring gray stockinette. Seriously, nothing to see there. So I went with everything that was plain stockinette. So this sock is finished, and the other one, look, I managed to cast on, and that was it. I didn't even close in the round because that was too difficult. I am knitting these on a 3.0 millimeter high eye sharps, and I hope to have some nice warm socks for next winter, because this winter should be over soon. I am definitely ready for spring. We are having snow today. I don't know how it is where you live, but seriously, give me warm. I want warmer weather. So that was whip number 2. And then whip number 3 is in my cute little Paisley Dicky teacup bag with cats. And I took this one because it kind of matches my yarn. I mean, isn't that what we all do? Matching the project bag to the yarn? I do, and I always like it. So in here I have Undercover Otter. This is Squirm, and it is a Clan of Igor's 2020 skein. It is from May, and it is called your certifiable Quint. Here is the label. Undercover Otter, my wonderful friend Aegwynn. And I'm also using this, and this is a leftover from my bike rides in summer socks. And this is Colourful Soft Sock, which is basically the same base. And here is my progress on pattern for Sock Madness round 1. Yeah, this looks a bit weird, isn't it? It's definitely a sock, but yeah, it's knit flat. So let me show you the pattern. The pattern is called Valgus, and Valgus is Latin and means oblique. It is designed by J. Rush, Jen, indeed, I think. Yeah, Jennifer Ruschinski from Germany. So we have 2 German designers already. And here you can see it is knit flat with cables, and it has a seam. And I know I told you I am a cheerleader, so I don't have to knit them, but this one was so intriguing that I was like, I'm gonna knit that right away. So I cast on 64 stitches, but already there was some discussion. One said that the cables were pulling in really a lot, and others said no, I didn't have that issue at all. So I went with 64 stitches, and then after I think 2 or 3 repeats, I tried it on over my heel, and it just wouldn't fit. So I went with the large size, which is 70 stitches, and I put it on when I was a bit further, and it's not going over my heel. So I'm waiting until I have one sock finished. I can put in the seam and try it on, and if it doesn't fit, I will frog it and re-knit it with my own yarn, because I saw a fabulous one in No Rainbows Without Rain with the pooling like magically doing this. Absolutely stunning. So yeah, if it doesn't fit, I will re-knit in even bigger needles probably. I'm now just using my 2.5 millimeter, which is my go-to for this base. It's a nice plump sock yarn, so I was hoping it would be a bit bigger already, but no. unfortunately not. I did the heel. It is an afterthought heel, which is going into there. Put in some waste yarn. And now it is soon just straight ahead. So first you have that line that is diagonal, and then it goes just straight for the foot. I need a pretty long foot with my size 43, so this might take me a bit, but it's definitely fun to try something else. Totally different technique than we are used to with knitting in a round. So that is my whip number 3. I think it's been a very socky episode, isn't it? So that's what you get in February and March. Lots and lots of sock madness. Then I want to show you that I have been sewing again. And I'm really, really proud that I finally managed to make some bags again. So here I have one with fan fabric. And these two are absolutely not perfect. I made a boxy bag with Betty Boop, where I can see a million mistakes, but hey, it's a bag now, and I'm already giving it away to someone who doesn't mind, because the outside looks great. The inside I missed a little bit. You make a sandwich for this, and there was one bit that just did not want to stick. So, it happens, but it means that I didn't want to see it. And this one, I also missed the seam on the inside that was open, so I sewed it shut with my hands, or with needle and thread by hand. And this one also is going to be gifted, but I thought it would be nice to show you that I'm back in bag making after, I think it's been over 6 years. This fabric had been cut, ready to go to sew 6 years. Yeah, it's crazy. And then I made, those were my practice bags. I made a perfect bag, and this fabric has been highly ordered by me. It is the Wee Wanderer, I think, or the Wee Wander with the cute little glowworms. I really, really love that fabric. This one is probably going into the shop, but once I have a few more bags, because I have more fabric of this, so maybe that motivates me to make more bags. It is fully lined and pretty on the inside, and in here I hid my Cozy Catlady club, yarn club from Wintertag Traum, and I am going to say spoilers, because this is a 3-month yarn club, but it was shipped in one go, and the 1st of March, the first one was okay to open, but since I was having COVID on my birthday, I was like, fuck it all, I'm going to open all 3 of them in one go. I did not have a birthday, I did not have any visitors, because we weren't allowed and we were too sick, and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna open all my 3 packages. This is my birthday gift now. Thank you very much. So yeah, so I can show you the first one, which is already out and shown by Nora of Wintertag Traum. Wintertag Traum is in Austria, by the way. And this is the first one, and this is the Winkekatze, so the cat statue that always has the paw like this. Here you go. I went with the sock yarn, and that is 75% merino and 25% polyamide and 400 meters, and it feels just as soft as my soft sock, which is amazing and very plump. And there was an extra this month, which is this cute little cat stitch marker. There you go. And there was also a little baggie, and I do not know if everyone opened it, so everyone who also went with the Cozy Catlady clip yarn who didn't, look away. look away. There is this cute little sticker of a cat in a cabled sweater with a teapot, which is amazingly cute. And then there is this stitch marker of a pink cat hanging by its neck, which is also stinking cute. And those two are made by Rafaela Art Shop, and they are also in Austria. There you go. And they have an Etsy shop, rafaelaartshop.etsy.com. There. Come on. No focus. Yeah, there it is. But also, again, the links will be in the show notes. And there was a cute little note in there with greetings from Frosty Austria and some personal things that I'm not going to read to you. So that was package number 1 and the extras. So we're going to show you now package number 2, which is from April. And this is the Calico Cat. The whole theme was lucky cats, and I really love this one. It has a lot of speckles on the inside here, and yeah, great contrast. I think the contrast of every one of them goes together with all the other ones as well. And the fourth one, the one for May, is Hildegard, and I have to say I forgot what Hildegard was, so going blind here. And this is a gray and black with green and a red contrast. Yeah, not my favorite from the bunch. I mean, you know where my heart is, definitely orange and colorful yellow and stuff, but I think this will be great for some very yeah, socks for Robert that are a bit more muted and decent in German, but not decent. Yeah, a bit more muted. I think that's the best description I can find. Not my regular neon flashy green and stuff. So yeah, that's that. And then I did a swap with someone. After my handspun video, I got a message from lovely Joke from Allemaal draadjes, which is a Belgian podcast and shop. And she said to me that she will love my prickly, over twisted, all the fiber that I spun that I'm allergic to. So I sent her a package with all that. And I got some fiber and lovely extras back. I got to pick the fiber I wanted, which is a Southern German Merino in the butterfly colorway. And I think it is showing up reasonably okay on screen. So there's a lot of colors in here. I think, yeah, here's a bit that is even brighter. I think it's a non-superwash fiber, and I'm very curious about Southern German Merino. I know I've knit with it, but I haven't spun with it, I think. And this is a superwash wool and polyamide, 20 grams, 80 meters. Sock yarn that she also dyed, which is great for everything. So probably some heels, cuffs, toes and scrappy projects that it's going to be going into. And a lovely note with some tea, some sunflower seeds and a little candle. So thank you very much, Joke. That is very, very nice. Let me take a sip of tea because my throat is running dry. I don't think I've talked this much since COVID. And there you can feel the Ew. Let me see. You can see me turning because everything is behind me on the table. I have this cute little box because there was a tea stash on Instagram by Sarah Linde. And Sarah Linde is from Germany and she also has a podcast, I think. Sarah Linde Liebwolle. I hope she's still podcasting. I don't know. I do remember that she had a podcast. I'll put a link in the show notes again. But I found some really nice yarn in her D-stash. So I'll put the books aside. There is this gorgeous garden party soppel. And then there is a dyer I've never heard of. That is Frau Melle. And this is a high twist merino. So basically the same base as my soft sock. 80% merino and 20% nylon, 400 meters in 100 gram. And this is Frühlingsgefühle, so spring feelings. Hell yes, that is definitely screaming my name. And then there was this one from Aya Fibres, and this is the BFL 100% virgin wool superwash merino. Well, I think it's BFL, not merino, but okay. And it's 365 meters. And I think 100% BFL works for socks as well, but this might turn into something else. I just thought it was a really, really pretty skein. And Aya Fibres is dying again, so I will link to that as well. I love her yarns. I have a few skeins of her. So yeah, 3 skeins in, oops. But I really couldn't resist. Such a gorgeous D-stash. So thank you very, very much, Sarah. And that was it, I think. Yeah. I do not have plans yet for the dyeing because having the mask on is a bit difficult with breathing still. I did dye some yarn. I basically had a night full of dreams, so I'm blaming COVID brain. I had a brilliant idea of what to dye, which was basically a quirky rainbow but with neons, but really light speckles, so it would be really nice as a neon neutral. Yeah. I completely forgot that I have already done that, and it's called Razzle Dazzle, and I was like one colorway off and the placement was exactly the same. I just had one color that I didn't use that I put the dye on the first layer. I was walking downstairs and thinking, maybe I should have put that one on. No, let's not. Let's just leave it like this first and we'll see what happens. If I had put that on, it would have been Razzle Dazzle. I only found out in the evening while I was rinsing it that I was like, oh, this looks a lot like something I have dyed before. What was that? And then I looked up the recipe because it wasn't in my notebook, because I had written Razzle Dazzle's recipe on a sheet of paper that was folded in my notebook. I was looking at it, I was like, yeah, I feel really, really stupid now. So yeah, there's gonna be some Razzle Dazzle Light because it has a bit less of purple. But the rest was exactly the same. So I left the dyeing for another day, and I had my hyper focus on sewing project bags, and I've been cutting bags all day yesterday. So I am ready to make more bags once my back has recovered from yesterday, because now I know why I didn't sew anymore, because it freaking hurt my back. Yeah, maybe that's because I did it all day, because when I have a focus, I am hyper focused. Hello, ADD. Most of you will know that. I know a lot of you will know that. What happens when you hyper focus? So yeah, like I said, we've basically recovered. Just a tiny bit of fatigue. And yeah, I think in the end it was reasonably mild for us. Didn't feel like it at the moment, but it could have been worse. So we've been lucky, and Robert is back to work and everything. So yeah, just some regular fitness level to get back to, and we'll be fine. Once the weather is dry again, not snowy and not rainy and everything, I seriously hope we can get to bike rides and walking outside again. And then everything will be fine. It will all be fine. Yeah, I'm gonna say goodbye. I'm gonna focus on editing this beast, and I think we're already, yeah, over half an hour. So yeah, editing this and then knitting the first sock of my Sock Madness socks. And I will see you again next time. I hope you're doing well, and you are able to craft the things you want to do. And yeah, bye bye.